Hi, my name is Sarina Hani binti Sulaiman, and today I will reflect on what I have learned about web services using my calculator project. I will explain my three things in this project. The first thing is my understanding of web services with examples of what I have done so far, and secondly, why we need a WSDL file and what we can understand from it, and thirdly, how SOAP elements map to WSDL elements. This reflection will summarize my learning from Laboratory Practical 4. Okay, so firstly, what are web services? Web services are software systems that allow applications to communicate with each other over the internet. Even if they are developed in different programming languages or run on different platforms, they use standard protocols such as SOAP and WSDL. For my example, in my lab, I created a calculator web service called My Calculator that performs four operations, which are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. This means any client application can call these operations to perform calculations remotely without having to write the calculation logic themselves. And in real-world analogy, imagine like a currency conversion service. If a shopping website wants to convert prices to different currencies, it doesn't have to build the conversion logic. It can just call an external currency conversion web service to get the updated rates. And then technology used in this lab are technology used in this lab are SOAP, which stands for Simple Object Access Protocol, is an XML-based protocol for exchanging information. Secondly is WSDL, stands for Web Services Description Language, describes the web service for the client. And lastly, SOAP UI, used for testing my web service by sending SOAP requests and viewing responses. Overall, web services make software development more modular, interoperable, and efficient. Okay, next, why do we need a WSDL file? Okay, so WSDL, as I mentioned earlier, it stands for Web Services Description Language. It is an XML document that acts as a contract between the service provider and the client. Without it, clients would not know what operations the web service offers, what inputs they need to provide, what outputs they will receive, and where the service is located. So in my calculator project, the WSDL file describes the four operations available, which are add, subtract, multiplication, and divide. Okay, so and their input parameters, like and their input parameters. So here are the main parts of a WSDL file. Let me show you. Okay, as you can see, the first one is we have types. Types defines the data types used. For example, integers for calculator inputs. And then message defines input and output messages. For example, add request and add response. And then port type defines the operations available, like add or divide. And then we have the binding. It specifies how to call these operations, such as SOAP protocol. And we have service. It defines the URL endpoint to access the service. Okay, so it means that the WSDL file is like an instruction manual for clients on how to use the web service. Okay, let me share my first real example of web services. When we buy something online on platforms like Shopee or Lazada, and we choose to pay using online banking or credit card, the e-commerce website itself doesn't process doesn't process our payment directly. Instead, it uses a payment gateway web service such as PayPal to handle the payment securely. So what happens technically? The website sends our order details and payment information as a SOAP or REST request to the payment gateway's web service. This payment gateway then processes the transaction with your bank to approve or decline it. Finally, it sends back a response to the website indicating whether our payment was successful or failed. This shows how web services are used to integrate external services like payment processing securely and efficiently into existing e-commerce systems. The other example is related to university system. For instance, when we check our exam results on the student portal, the portal itself does not store our results. Instead, it calls an internal web service connected to the examination database. So what happens technically, when we log in and request to see our results, our student ID is sent as an input to the web service. The web service then retrieves our results from the database and returns them in the response, which is displayed on our portal page. This integration ensures that different university systems like the portal, finance systems, or library system can communicate with each other through web services, making student data management more efficient. These examples, such as payment gateways and university portals, clearly show how web services are used in daily life to connect different applications, process data securely, and provide real-time information to users. Finally, let's discuss how SOAP elements map to WSDL elements. In this lab, I tested my web service using SOAP UI. So here is the mapping. For the SOAP element, such as SOAP envelope, it maps to WSDL element but not directly defined in WSDL but required by SOAP. So it wraps the entire SOAP message, while SOAP body corresponds to operations in port type in WSDL element. It contains the operation being called, for example, add, multiple, division, and subtract. And then SOAP element of add defined under port types and binding in WSDL. The operation or it is the operation or method name. And then we have add response. This map to WSDL element defined as output message in WSDL. This add response contains the result returned by the operation. Okay, so here are the example from my SOAP request to add two numbers. So in conclusion, SOAP message follow the WSDL description to structure the requests and responses correctly. Okay, to conclude, I learned that web services allow different applications to communicate over the internet. WSDL files are crucial because they describe how to use the web service like an instruction manual, while SOAP messages follow the WSDL structure to send requests and receive responses successfully. This topic is very useful for developing a real-world system that integrate different services such as payment gateways, weather, APIs, or calculators like My Calculator project. So that's all. I hope this explanation help to understand the importance of web services, WSDL and SOAP integration.